This is the first time we've been introduced to this character. We don't know his name, but we know who he is. He is the serpent, also known as the devil, Satan. And what's interesting about him is that even though he's been created by God, look at verse 1. It says the serpent was the shrewdest of all the wild animals the Lord God had made. Now, the original word for shrewd is actually a play on words. It means both clever and crafty, which gives us a double entendre here, because when we think of someone who is clever, we think of someone who is smart, intelligent. But when we think of someone who is crafty, we think of someone who is cunning, deceptive. And so right off the bat, before the story even begins, we know that the serpent is going to be a trickster. He's going to be someone who is not straightforward with his intent. And unfortunately, he's going to deceive Eve into doing something that she shouldn't do. So let's begin at Genesis chapter 3 verse 1-6. One day he asked the woman, "Did God really say you must not eat the fruit from any of the trees in the garden?" So the serpent comes up to Eve and he's gonna question what God has told them. He's gonna twist the truth. You see, up until this point, God has simply said, "Don't eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil." But the serpent comes along and he starts to question what God has said. He says, "Did God really say you can't eat from any of the trees?" Now, notice how he doesn't deny it. He doesn't say you can't eat from this tree. He just questions if what God said is absolutely true. And how does he do this? With a whisper he whispers to Eve, "Did God really say?" Notice the repetition here. The original language actually has a play on words with the word say. There's two different words for say, and it's very similar sounding, but one means to speak, and the other one means to speak with authority. And so the serpent questions if God spoke with authority, if God really did say what he said, and Eve falls for it. Now, if you want to hear the rest of the story, make sure you check out episode 14. In the meantime, here's a little teaser. Eve replies to the serpent, saying, "Of course we may eat fruit from the trees in the garden. It's only the fruit from the tree in the middle of the garden that we are not allowed to eat."